Welcome to the 30th CAF update. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, Mikhail, how's it going? Lee, nice to see you guys this evening. So it's been a busy week. This is my fourth night in a row of doing a show. So I am pretty wiped out, but it's been a lot of fun, been very interesting. If everybody saw the Monday show and missed out on the best of 2020, I would encourage you to check out the link underneath the galleries menu to the best of 2020. There were a lot of great pieces that won this year. So we did a kind of an award ceremony on Monday evening, and it went pretty well. I mean, I think that was the first time I've ever done anything live for that before, and I think we're going to probably do that every year from now. So that's it was a lot of fun. And of course, Tuesday night I had that great interview with both West Stefan and Dino Mauricio, and we got to see Dino's fantastic art cave. I don't know if anybody saw that. But you know what? I wanted to give Dino props and show it one last time. I don't think he'll mind. And if anybody missed it, I'm going to show it again. I hope you enjoy this. This was really funny. I was wondering that same thing, bootlegging, honestly, but definitely that was worth a second view. And I'm very envious of Dino and that, and also those fantastic, basically artist edition catalogs he put together of his own collection. I thought that was a great idea too. So definitely a revolutionary in the hobby. I think several people will be making their own little art caves in the future. Maybe we'll get some videos for those as well. Yeah, definitely very lucky guy. And oh yeah, that's right, John. So and then of course we did the dueling dealers last night. That was a bit hectic, and I do apologize for the technical problems at the end. We did work all that out, and I think next week will be a lot better. I had some mic problems which made me miss comments, and it just got a little confusing there at the end, but it all worked out. One of the dealers sold honestly like $30,000 in art in the 5 minutes after the show. So it was just weird that it didn't happen on screen because there was opportunity. It was pieces that were shown right there in that last segment. So the show still worked out good, even though it was a bit slow and we got a little heckling going on during that one. It was, Jason says it was anarchy when I wasn't there. That is quite true. Yeah, that won't happen again. I actually, Maureen is going to sit in the studio for me, and she is going to monitor the chat 100%. And she'll be the one to pull up the claim comments or any chatter that we need to show, or questions, whatever, anything relative. She's going to handle that going forward. So I can just focus on being a good host and making sure the images go up on time, and trying to get those guys to kind of, fight a little bit more. They're too nice to each other on screen. You should see them when they're in the green room before the show. They're ribbing each other left and right, and then they get on camera and they're all nice to each other. That's not what I envisioned. So we've got a little bit to work on there. And we are going to change the format though. We're going to shorten the round times, and we are also going to kind of mix up what we show in those low price rounds as well. So, we're going to just kind of work our way through it. It's certainly not boring. I can assure you of that. I know you guys know that too. So, but I think if we can sell things early, it makes for a better flowing show. That first show flowed so well, and then the second show just was not what I really wanted. But the production was there, so we're learning. But let me get on with the CAF update because I've got two guests this evening. Okay, yes, last night's big winner was Albert, and he did walk away with the top prizes, I guess you would say. He and I had a long text afterwards about last evening too. He had some good points. So, but I don't envision Albert joining in on it. He is not that kind of guy, but he has a lot of opinions, and they were all good. So, but like I said, I've got two guests in the green room, so I want to run through my CAF update as quick as I can, since I've taken 55 minutes already of the show. And yes, Albert is moving the market as usual, ML. So the period that this CAF update is for the 25th through the 31st. So just the last week in January. And as far as sales went, dealers had a rather pretty much an average week so far for this first of this year, with I think just over 385,000 in sales from the dealers that we track. And Felix came out on top, had 122 sales for almost $150,000 of that total, with Ramita Man at 27 sales and 86,000, Albert at 37 sales, 72,000, Mark Hay from Splash Page, who was running some sales, so he was in fourth with just over 37,000. And then Anthony and Panel Page kind of brought up the next couple dealers. So let me show you the top 6 sales from that period. So again, total sales 386,000, 165,000. You got this King in Black issue 3 sold complete by Ryan Stegman, of course. Felix Comic Art, the seller. The price was $25,000 firm, and most of those are selling as complete issues. This is was sold by Ramita Man for $24,000. It's Barry Windsor Smith. It's from Avengers 66, the page 13 splash from 1969. And here is a Hal Foster Prince Valiant that's sold by Albert Moy. Maybe that's why he was a little rambunctious last night. The asking price on this one was $17,500, and this is from 1947. And this next piece is also sold by Ramita Man. This is by Nestor Redondo. It's Swamp Thing number 19 cover from 1975, sold for $17,000 as the asking price. Next up is this Ryan Sook complete issue, Legion of Superheroes number 12, sold by Felix for $12,500. And the last sale that I'm going to show you is this Herb Trimpe Hulk 180 page. Those are really hot right now. This was sold by Panel Page Art. Asking price was $10,000. I'm sure that probably would have been the asking price, because that's the sale price that most of those Trimpe pages are getting nowadays. So again, a very solid week for dealers. Kind of an average week for auction houses. It was 252,000 in sales the week prior to this reporting period, and for the period now it was 232. So a drop of about $20,000 for them. And of course, this is just for eBay and Heritage. Let me pull up the auctions. So of course, eBay here is first. They made up about 150,000 of those sales. This is a Exo Man of War cover by Mike Leake and Tom Ryder. This is cover issue number 11, and sold for $3,300. And this is a mouse sketch by Spiegelman. ML, you should be familiar with that. We were looking at one of yours last Tuesday. This one sold for $1,900. You do not see those too often. And finally, from eBay, this is a Bloom County strip by Berkeley Breathe. This is, of course, featuring Opus, and sold for $1,750. And then the 3 top Heritage sales from last week is this Gil Fox strip art piece. He was like a 1940s illustrator. This is sold for $2,640. And then next up was this Wally Wood piece. It's just a creature sketch. It didn't have any real definition of what it was for. Sold for $2,400. And last, a Gabriel Del Secret War painted page. This is from issue 5, page 9 from 2005, and it sold for $2,340. And so Heritage was a little light last week on their weekly auction. The total sales was just over $80,000. That's not normal, but honestly, in the weeks typically following one of their signature auctions, they tend to have, I'm not quite sure why, but they tend to have smaller weeks on their weekly auctions. It's just a trend that I've seen. So I would expect them to return to form this next week. And let me see, I want to pull up the pieces that I featured. I actually only featured 10 this week because I didn't have time to feature more. So Let me go over those pieces right now. First up is this Steve Ditko Tales to Astonish, number 66 page, and it is in the collection of Dino Mauricio, and it's fantastic. It's from 1965. This is in Timothy Finney's collection. It's Art Adams. Of course, I probably didn't even need to say it was Art Adams. This is clearly his signature style. This is the Terror of Godzilla number 5 cover. And this is by Mark Brooks, a collection of Paul P. This is the X-Men Legacy 275 cover from 2012. Normally I'd crop out the frame, but I like the blue on that one. I thought that was nicely done. And incredibly classic X-Men cover. This is Uncanny X-Men 231 by Rick Leonardi in the collection of Brian Ketterer. This is in Tatiana's collection, and it's by Michael Turner and Joe Weems. This is Fathom 99 swimsuit special cover. Fantastic. Not enough Turner artwork out there any longer, of course. And this is Warlock and the Infinity Watch number 1 cover. This is in the collection of Fish Benz, and it's by Angel Medina and Terry Austin. And ML, here you go. Galactus and Silver Surfer. Fantastic commission by the one and only Jim Lee. I know ML had to wait a little bit to get this one, but it was well worth it. It's a favorite of mine. And we got another Warlock piece here. This is, of course, by Jim Starlin. This is from Warlock 13. It's page 27 in the collection of Carlo M. Artists are Steve Lealoa and penciler Jim Starlin. And next up is this John Bolton illustration. I'm not quite sure what it was for, but I thought it was pretty cool. And it's in the collection of my good friend Zadok L., who has an amazing collection. You should definitely check out his CAF gallery. And finally, this is, of course, Bill Sienkiewicz. It's from New Mutants number 30. And I am going to mess this person's name up. Michael Senzakwa. That's the owner's name. And I checked out their gallery as well because I hadn't seen it before. Great stuff. So another collection that you definitely would want to take a look at the next time you're on CAF. And I agree, Ryan. That was a really great Warlock cover. Terry Austin, you know, he's not an underrated inker because he gets all the credit that he's due. And just looking at that, you can see, you know, his handiwork on the inking on that. I thought it was fantastic and really featured it just because of that, and being the, you know, the Warlock 1 cover too, and the Legion. That's very good. We've got a lot of you guys are wordsmiths. I should hire you guys to do the writing for this show. It might be a lot more witty. So and I agree as well. The Leonardi, I had a feature when I had that one bookmarked as, you know, a piece that I didn't want to miss when I was doing when I was selecting the pieces for featuring this week, because I saw that early in that week and wanted to make sure that I didn't forget about it. So X-Men was always my favorite title, and that honestly was one of my favorite covers from that period. And yeah, congratulations, Tatiana. That was a fantastic piece. And anyone who hasn't checked out Tatiana's gallery, you really should. You don't know what you're missing out on. So without further ado, I'm going to bring my guests in this evening. I tried to kind of make the room a little color coordinated for, I think, a lot of what we're going to be seeing tonight as far as art goes. So let me bring in my guests right now.
Purple, right? It's because
I was trying. Cat Taca Lisa McCarty. Good evening. Thank you for joining me this evening.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
I'm
thanks
happy
for.
No,
and I really do love the purple. I think it should stay like that all the time. It looks really nice.
yeah, I don't know. It's
off the paper tone.
well, you know, the thing is, you can't really tell, but if I turn the light on, the walls are actually painted purple. You know, but usually I've got like that blue light or a yellow light on it, so nobody can tell. But yeah, I went for that dark purple, you know,
royal purple.
There you go. But yeah, it's definitely, you know, it gives the room, it makes the art pop on the walls. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
So Kat, you're a regular in our streams. I mean, everybody would know you because you comment a lot, and I appreciate that. And you know, I was talking with Anthony one day, and he was like, "You've got to have Kat on the show." And I was like, "Well, if Anthony says I have to do it, then I need to do it." So I'm glad we're able to. You know, we did get to talk that one time when Anthony had his that art con that he was doing, but
yeah.
only very briefly.
Right.
And that's right. We're gonna look at one of those the piece that you bought that day. I forgot about that.
Oh, by the way, yeah, oh, right there.
Oh, see, I think Anthony has you on the payroll or something.
Yeah, you'd think, right?
Yeah, I know he doesn't pay very well.
But he
No.
trades so that you think you're getting a deal.
Well, he makes you feel like you're getting a deal.
I do. Every time I feel like I'm getting an amazing deal, so I love it. I'm still here, right?
So, I never asked this of anybody, but what part of the country are both of you in?
I'm from Chicago.
You're in Chicago. And Lisa?
I'm in Austin, Texas.
Ah, very nice. All right.
So when I get really excited, and Kat will probably hear it really soon, my twang comes out really bad, so sorry about it. I'm definitely from the South.
Bless your heart, honey.
Bless my heart. Where's my big hair?
So
I wanted to take one more second to throw back to that Fathom piece and that Bolton piece. What was that Bolton piece from? That Bolton piece was amazing. This is why I show up for your CAF, guy.
All right. I'll see if Zadok actually wrote precisely what this Bolton piece was for.
Right, I have to know that. So it's wow, and then just the saturation, just everything, just great.
Yeah, no, that was a beautiful piece. He wrote that it was from the Deese Editions Portfolio Plate 5, Death of a Warrior from 1985. So I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah.
Portfolio that might have been. And what was the other piece?
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, and the Fathom piece was the one you asked about? Or what was the other one?
Oh, yeah, the Fathom one. Yeah, anything Turner, because it's not like but that Fathom is amazing. So I have one Turner piece, but I'm happy to have it. But that one is a great one.
I just have a signed little comic from him.
What'd you got?
I have a signed Supergirl 1.
Nice.
That just says, "Hi, Lisa," and I was like, "Oh,
nice.
I'm all flustered."
Oh yeah, there it is. It's the Little Mermaid, but like all grown up, and
yeah, it's beautiful.
It's just so good, and the water flow, it's just so good.
I miss him.
Yes, absolutely. I have so many pieces that got away way back before, like when I shoulda, everyone's always got those shoulda, coulda, woulda. Yeah. I caught it, I swear.
Yeah, Michael was a regular at the Pittsburgh show, and so I saw him there a lot when I first started collecting, and I likewise didn't ever pick anything up, and I regret it to this day.
Absolutely.
And this is the Bolton piece.
Yeah, oh my God, that's so crazy.
Yeah, I think Bolton's really underrated. I really love his work, and that's when I saw this, I'd never seen anything quite like it from him before. So I just wanted to make sure it got some extra screen time.
Yeah, it deserves it. Absolutely. I don't have that much patience. I can't fathom certain kinds of art because I have not the patience to sit there to do that, like ever. I'd be like, meh.
Yeah, so, no. But again, if anybody goes in to look at it, Zadok he honestly has one of my favorite collections on CAF. He seems to like everyone that I like and has the best representative examples of all the artists that I would ever want to own a great piece from. So he's got a great collection. So, and he's continuing to add to it.
Yeah, I just try to get one piece from everybody that I've ever batted an eye at. I'm all like, ooh, I like you. I need to have at least one piece somewhere in there. So I actually ended up with a Don Newton Metal Men page because I had to have a Don Newton, and the page, like I buy pages that speak to me, so like I can get past a lot like that. That's an affordable way to get into artists. Five pages that speak to you if you like the artist, So you don't have to have a main character, you don't have to have a thing, It works a lot that way. So, but that way you can get one piece from everybody that you love, but maybe it's not going to cost you a
down payment, a car.
Right, yeah, a mortgage payment, whatever.
Any more these days, that's for sure. But that's not everybody can afford a really nice Don Newton Batman page any longer. That's the thing. So Metal Men page would be pretty cool. But hey, so we do origin stories, to kick the shows off typically. So Kat, would you like to Lisa is going to start us off. Well, see. maybe we're going to get some twang in this origin story. But yeah, so when did you kind of, I guess comics, when did you get started, and when did you get turned on to original comic art?
Okay. Here we go. My grandfather was in the army with Frank Gorshin, who played the Riddler in Batman 66. So when I was young, I would watch Batman, and I was very obsessed with cats at a young age. So then there was this Catwoman, and I was like, "Ooh, I want to be like her." Forward to a couple years, not a couple, like a decade and a half ago, I met a guy, and he was really interested in art, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get into art too, because like, I could do this. And then it just became this terrible obsession of my first comic book was one of the Catwomans from Jim Balance, clearly. And then I just was like, this is my Catwoman. And then I just always wanted a piece from him. But slowly and surely, I dipped my toes in with stuff that I could afford at the time, which would be like, and we'll see those pieces because I posted like my favorite ones that just had sentimental value, or like my very first piece was from Gene Gonzalez, and we will see that piece as well. So that, and then it was just like, oh, I can pay people to draw what I want. Oh, all right. And so then I just kind of did that, and now I have like way too much art that I can't even fit on the walls, and so it's just kind of scattered. But short and sweet, I guess, a little bit. So it was my grandfather's fault, and he was always like, what are you going to do with all this stuff? And I was like, enjoy it, not do heroin. I don't know. Meth was really popular growing up, but I never did it because I was like, comics. So
good for you.
And I wouldn't call it his fault. It was his gift.
It was his gift. He does not think it is a gift, though. He's, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, so much.
So good.
That's great. And so what's the last year been like for you then, Lisa, as far as collecting without the cons? Have you been buying online, or have you kind of tempered your buying the last?
Well, so I work for Austin Books and Comics, so that's one in where I get to meet a whole bunch of great like authors or artists, and I can communicate with them, just online. I haven't been to a bunch of cons, unfortunately, just because I have a very stressful job and I can't really get away. And then like now there's the pandemic, but most of the time I wait until one of the artists that I really enjoy has like, they're like, I'm going to start commissions, and I try to get on their list, or I have friends that know friends and things like that. And I have a lot of great pieces thanks to my wonderful friends.
So they'll go to a show sometimes and do the request for you, or?
Well, I'll pay for it ahead of time, and
I see. And they'll pick it up.
They can just pick it up and mail it to me, which is great, and I appreciate that. And I'd always, do the same if someone came into the store to do a signing or something. But like 2020, I got a commission from Jim based off of his Kickstarter, which he's doing again. He has a new Kickstarter currently, and I'm on that commission list. I'm gonna make him draw something completely that he's never drawn before, so it's gonna be really good. So but other than that, I normally I always get something from Gene Gonzalez because his work is always really solid. And he's always like my go-to. He was my first. He'll probably be my dying breath will be like, have him draw in my casket, and then I'll die. So
yes.
Well,
it's been very slow this year, but that's okay. I mean, I'm trying to not just throw all my money away, and that's really hard.
Right. Well, I mean, supporting his Kickstarter and others. I mean, that's one way to get art. A lot of artists have turned to that. A lot of artists are just doing lots of different commission opportunities through their Facebooks and Instagram. So the opportunities have been there to buy art. It's been a lot different though. You kind of have to have your ear out there to know when those opportunities and are happening, and have a lot of friends to make sure you don't miss any of those opportunities. So
and some artists like Mindy Lee, she did some commissions for food banks in California, and I was able to snag something from that, and that was great, and I was just like beside myself. But I always try to give where I can. That also is kind of like me too. I don't know. So it's kind of selfish, but also take my money.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Gene Gonzalez is probably 10% of the art collectors out there who have bought commissions or done con sketches. Gene has probably been most people's first. I mean, I don't think he was my first, but he was at the first show I went to, and I got something from him. And because he was so open, I mean, you see him at the table, and he's like, sometimes you'll walk past people because you don't want to stop and talk to him. But you see Gene, he kind of like sucks you in, and he's so friendly. And then the next thing you know, you were handing him money to get on his sketch list. So
I think he is the single artist I have the most art from, and I have never met him in person, unfortunately.
Really? Oh wow. Okay.
A lot of I haven't met anybody really in person, so it's a big deal. I have a cat behind me. I'm sorry. Yeah. It's a big deal to me that he's so great, and he's always willing to do whatever like weird idea I have, which are normally not that weird, but. Yeah, I've never met Gene before, which is on my bucket list. I need to get to Heroes Con eventually when it's safe.
Yeah, that's the show to go to for sure. That one's always been, it's an artist's favorite show, and it's a fan. And anybody who collects art, Hero is usually at the top of their list, with Baltimore being, a close second these days. So, yeah, if you can get to either one of those shows, you'd be doing yourself a favor.
Or just
it's Kat's turn. Someone squirrel me. It's her turn.
And Anthony Fork said the Valen Kickstarter art reward was hot, and it's great to support him.
Anthony, did you get one? Anthony?
I will ask him later.
Yeah, right.
We're all like looking. I saw that you got the poison ivy from last time.
I did. I did. I did. I love it. It's great. It's super.
Oh, I'm sure it's amazing.
Yeah, I know. I was super excited when I got it because, like, obviously he does all the not safe for work stuff everywhere. So it's always nice when you get to see it and you're like, oh, did you?
No, not this time.
All right. I always like what he gets. I've known Anthony forever. I was like trying to get Anthony on here too, but he didn't want to. So that's fine. That's fine, Anthony.
He's in the chat. So
Catwoman fanatic too. We are all we small circle. We are. So yeah.
So Kat, I think you're up. You get to tell us your origin story.
My origin story, I was Magic the Gathering first, and books first. Like I was like a huge Stephen King person by 5th grade, like all the time. And then I played cards a lot and I was in and out. So I'd always pick up books all the time. And then I got a job peddling Magic cards at a comic shop because the guy didn't want to have anything to do with Magic, but he realized it was monetized. So, so that was my first job, and I actually co-own that store now. So that's my origin story for that. Probably I'd say 1999 is when the art bug jumped on me, and that's incidentally the only way that I have what I have as a collection. Ballant is obviously much way for the amount that I have. It's unaffordable for me at that point. But back then nobody cared. I could get a stack. I actually talked to Buzz Setzer and things. And I just used to get stacks of it for like $800. You get a stack of it. It was a good time to be alive, man. And that's a lot of my pieces. A lot of my pieces actually at the beginning came from like Spencer and Fanfare and a lot of people that like really aren't around as much anymore. I mean, they still totally are, but like it's not as they were more top of the line back then, I guess.
Yeah, no. So, Tom Fleming from Fanfare was one of the first people I bought art from. But yeah, I mean, he did retire from art. I mean, but he does still have his comic shop in Kalamazoo, I think is where it's based. But yeah, no, he was because he got around. He went to Chicago, Wizard Chicago. I think that he was one of the people Right. I bought my first piece of art from Tom Fleming at Wizard World Chicago. So,
my Catwoman Annual 4. I have the check. I have the cash check that I paid for that painting with. From I think that was 90. No, that was 2000, 2001. I want to say, but yeah, so all the way back then. And I still have the canceled check. I keep everything. The first commission, that Egyptian Catwoman, Lisa, I still have the first canceled check from Jim Ballant, because remember he used to pay, you had to pay like by check or cash in the mail, and everything back then.
I wasn't even around back. No. I
I'm
don't
back
know
out of the
what I was
flex.
doing PayPal. I just feel like, what are we doing?
I snip off the mail cart and like the shipping dates on stuff too. I'm like one of those anal retentive neurotic people that has to like catalog everything.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Do you put it in the bag with the art though? Is that what you do with it?
So what do I do?
Do you put you put that in the bag with the art, or do you file that away
It's all
somewhere?
separate, and it's a filing system that's all up here. I'm working on putting it into some binders so my kids don't have to yank their hair out, or at least someone at Christie's or somebody can deal with it easier.
So somebody says they got art from you at the last con, C2E2, Steve Dillon.
That's nice. I really try to do a lot of, I try to bring a lot of people in when I'm at the con, like, and I know that seems like silly, but like a lot of people are, they're focused and it's a high end thing and it's cool. But like a lot of people, I try to make it approachable. Like, I want to talk to people. I want to see what your characters are. Did you like have a specific thing when you were a kid? Because a lot of people are like, oh my God, I love Ultimate Spider-Man, like, and all this other stuff. And then, you pull it out and they're like, oh my, this was an issue I had when I was a kid. And they're like, oh, it's like, affordable, $120 or something, and it's got a page that they remember, and it connects it to them. It makes it approachable, because a lot of times you go to a lot of the bigger booths or a lot of the things, and it's, well, there's a $8,000 this, and and everyone's like, oh, I can't be here. It's like, no, come. I will show you things that you will love that are equally affordable and amazing. And I really do stand by that. If you buy it and you love it and you stand by it, like it'll come, or you should still be happy. So
yeah, well, that's the great thing about this hobby too, is that when you do get started, it is difficult unless you know people in it, because you see the art on people's back walls, and any featured art on any dealer's website is always their most expensive stuff, and it takes a while to kind of learn the ropes and get to that position. So it's always great to have somebody like you around that's going to make everybody feel a little bit more comfortable. Because that's all you gotta do. Once you get people talking and you get a feel for what they like, then then you can steer them in the right direction. As far as at least finding a place to start, what their comfort level is.
I mean, especially if you're willing to spend like say $150 on a CGC book, which I'm personally kind of against slabbing. It's a controversial subject. I like to flip through my stuff, and I'm not a slabber. I don't slab any of my books, but I mean, it's a personal thing. But if you're willing to drop that much money on a book that's slabbed, that's fine. But I mean, for the same amount of money, you can have this really nice piece of art by this artist that, and I mean, and again, I think that there's a better ratio. If you're trying to play the money game, I think there's a better ratio on the original comic art side than there would ever be in a slabbed book, in a personal opinion too. So, I mean, that's another thing for people that are just collectors that like to feel like they're getting value for what they love. So, I mean, I feel that there's a lot of variables in there, and you don't have to just buy pieces that are only, amazing, because every piece is amazing. Let's be honest. Otherwise we wouldn't read the books.
That is quite true. Very true. No, it's refreshing, to hear that. I mean, but that's really what we need, more people in the hobby, like you, that are willing to kind of, just help other people along. I think that's the coolest thing I've learned from doing these chats, is that there are these pockets of groups that are doing just that, and helping new collectors that come into their groups and educating them quickly, because I mean, none of us had that when we started. I mean, was there anybody there for you when you first started collecting?
No. I mean, like, Anthony was cool. He tolerated me because I would stand at his booth and flip through everything. But, then I would tell people where stuff was, because back before the internet, you didn't have a catalog. You just had to know where it was in the book file. That's why he always makes the joke that I know his inventory better than everybody, because I've been through every book thousands of times, whether it be from a collector's side or from finding it for somebody else's side. So, I mean, like, and nobody wanted to help you. And I mean, I'm sorry, but from a girl standpoint, it's a little different, and I can get a little jaded on the subject, but I mean, it was a lot different, let me just say, and it was a lot harder. And I have my fair shares of tales, and but yeah, no, nobody was there, and nobody was there to help in any way, shape, or form. I bought what I loved, and Diodato and Ballant and a bunch of other people did me okay, because I bought what I loved. Always buy what you love.
There you go. Well, Lee mentions that you helped him find a T-Rex sketch by Arthur Adams at C2.
I know, but I'm still mad about that one because I wanted it. But I'm happy. I'm happy to help. I really am. I really
That's
am.
right.
I'm happy it goes to good homes, but that's what I'm really worried about. I like to know where art goes so that I can know it's safe. Because I really am a preservationist. Like, I've been a preservationist since I was very young.
Well, I didn't want to get into the female collector angle on this, but the one thing that I know this, I can tell you I know it from all the analytics that I've got from YouTube and Facebook. Now that I've been doing these chats, I'm always dismayed, I guess, when I look at like one of the charts that YouTube gives you is a breakdown on just the demographics of the viewers, and literally for the first 6 months of having the YouTube channel, the male to female ratio was 100% to 0. I couldn't believe it. I kept thinking, I think this thing must be broken.
Nope.
And it has changed. I think that now that we've kind of, for whatever reason, now that it's being noticed, it's more like 90 to 10. But it still is just surprising that there is that disparity, in the hobby. I honestly wasn't aware of it. I guess looking at all the names on CAF, I guess I could say there's a lot of guys that show off their artwork there, but I just didn't think that there was that great a disparity between men and women collecting original comic art.
But see, like, that's the thing too, is that like a lot of females, because honestly, the New York show, I was floored by how many females came up and talked with me and were interested in just like art that I wouldn't, I'm not, but necessarily would have paired with them. And I was really amazed. And a lot of them I don't think are aware of a friendly community to be able to be a part of, and that like it's not, because lots of communities, let's be honest, for the women folk, it gets a little weird. So right. I mean, and so a lot of them I just don't think like they're out there, and I think they're kind of more of like a sub layer where they don't want to interact because like they're kind of like, well, I don't know, so like I just think that the more of us that really get out there and start running our mouths too, like I think more of people will come and be like, oh, okay, this is all right. So I just and like the boys play the boys game a lot of times too, and that doesn't help.
Right. Well, the thing is, when you go to a show, there, that disparity doesn't exist there. I mean, it's sure there's more men than women at a show, but maybe it's 70-30% or something. So that's why on the art collecting side, that's why it was a little surprising to me. I kind of felt like when I was able to see demographics that I was going to see more like a 70-30, and I didn't see that, and I still don't see it today. So
nope. And a lot of the time it's funny because like when I would actually go to booths, like when I'm being a consumer, a lot of people will automatically approach any of the males in the group before they will ever approach me, ever. Yeah. And they'll be like, oh, is this for your boyfriend? And I'm like, no. And like that just makes me honestly not want to get stuff from people sometimes.
Right.
Artist people out there, think about it. So
clearly Anthony didn't ask you that question, or you wouldn't still be dealing with him. He must have been a little more.
Anthony's always been a straight shake. So Anthony has always been a straight shake. So I can't say anything about the man other than that.
Oh, that's good. I know he gets a bad rap for being a grump, but he's if he likes you, he's been a good friend of mine for a number of years. He sends my kids artwork like once a year. If he comes across something, I get a package in the mail, and it's not for me, it's for like my kids. It's a Warner Brothers sketch or something like that. So he's definitely.
Yeah, I wear the badge with him, so it's cool.
Very good. Well, hopefully there's a way we can change that, because I think that.
I'm working on it, Bill. I've been working on it.
I know. Well, good. You should, every time you get the opportunity to, and then turn them on to CAF. That way, that people, they'll see the art. They'll see that your gallery's there. I mean, you have more published interior pages than I've ever had in my collection. I mean, you're prolific, in that way. So I mean,
beautiful.
Thank you. Again, I got on the ground floor. That's the only way I'm living the dream. I was in before anyone was paying attention. That's it.
I mean, that's get it while it's hot. I mean, that's great. Yeah. I need to go back in time, but
I wish. I mean, there's so many things, man. If I could have, I would have.
But yeah, that really was a good time to get in. I started collecting around 98. And the prices were, it was easy to get into. You didn't feel like you could only buy one or two things when you went to a show. You felt like you could walk away with a dozen pieces and not feel broke. I mean, if anything, whether you're getting a sketch from somebody or shopping from Tom, from Fanfare. I mean, everything was reasonable, and yeah, it was definitely a different time.
My biggest problem was, and this is what started my art bug, is that I was a gallery manager at Warner Brothers Studio Stores.
That's why you have so many pieces.
I have so many pieces because I had the main line.
Oh.
I could call in those ponies.
My heart. I saw some of them on your wall, and I was like, we need to meet in person. And I'm just going to be like, look over there. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that, but.
No, you would, and it would be great, and I would love it. But yeah, Warner Brothers actually, for a period of time, had actually taken interior pages and had framed them up, certified them, the whole 9 yards, in their frames and everything. And that's how I actually got into it. And then Old Orchard Mall, which was my store, is in Skokie, Illinois, which is also where Alex Ross, of all the people in the world, came in and did signings and everything because he lives right there. So I know Alex Ross's address, but I will. I've never done anything with it, but yeah. So that's honestly, I guess, where I would say that it all really started, and that really got me going with it. So blame Warner Brothers, I guess, for a lot of things.
Yeah, we had one in Cleveland. I went to it quite a bit, but it only stayed open for like a year, so I didn't get to enjoy it as much. But I don't remember original art there. I remember they had animation art, at least here in Cleveland, and a lot of posters. But I
have a few pieces. I should put them up on CAF. They were rare. They didn't happen a lot, but they did. I have a Catwoman one, and it was Bob Smith that gave it up from his collection or whatever. So it's signed for Bob Smith and everything. But it comes with a full Warner Brothers COA, and it's in the Warner Brothers black on black frame matting and everything, the whole 9 yards. I've got 2 of them. So yeah, but they're hard to find, but they were a thing. There was a lot of other ones that they had at the time. I can't remember. I mean, I'd be really hard pressed to sit here and go through all of the everything that's there. But they had a whole bunch of them from different artists and different banks, and it was awesome. So
yeah, I remember a lot of the Batman the Animated Series sells.
I have a couple. I have a lot of original backgrounds in front. Yeah, I do. I have a really good one. You'll love it. I got to send you a photo. You'll love it.
Yes, that's what I'm like. Later,
they're about to like. It's the one where she's backing up and he's like all in her face, and she's like, "Who, me?" Like, you're gonna love it. It's in my promo photo thing. It's but the glare's on it. You'll love it.
I think I bought one thing at a Warner Brothers store, and it was an X-Men print by Alex Ross that was signed by Cockrum and Alex. So that's the only thing, oddly enough, that I ever bought that I can remember buying there, because it's still on the wall right beside me. So it was like for whatever reason, when I bought this house, it had where the fuse box is. They didn't have any. They just hung a painting over it. So I didn't know that the fuse box was in my office when when I came in after we bought the place. There was just this big hole in the wall. So I found the biggest print I could get from Alex Ross, and that's what I hung over it. So.
Modern problems require modern solutions.
Exactly. I'm not a handyman. I could pound a nail in and hang something over it, but I was not going to put whatever the heck needed to be done to make it look better than it was.
It would probably look better like that anyway.
Yes, it does look much better though. Yeah. Now, do you want to start talking about some art? Because I know we've got a lot of art to talk about. And what I thought we could do is what I've been doing lately is just, I could start with a piece from Kat, and then go to a piece from Lisa. And then that way we're not monopolizing anyone's time.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Why don't Lisa? We should start with you.
That's my first piece ever from who we were talking about earlier, Gene Gonzalez. Yeah.
Now, if you didn't get this in person, how did you work that out?
Well, so I met him on his WordPress I think it was WordPress at the time, and he just opened up commissions. So I had emailed him and I was like, hey, I'm really interested in, these are what he calls Canson cuties, because they're on Canson paper. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I would really like this is my favorite Catwoman costume. So I asked for Catwoman with a Bast statue. And he drew up a couple of them, and this was my favorite one. And so then he finished it out and did it this way, and then just mailed me my piece.
Wow. That. When was this?
What is it? Oh,
Oh, it is really small in there.
2010.
I've got the yeah, you are right, 2010.
Look at me. I remember things. But yeah, I didn't pick the paper or anything like that. He just he took the paper, you know, like the idea, the concept, that's the word, and just ran with it. And I was very excited. I have multiple Canson cuties from him, but this was my very first one, and it will always hold, you know, that special piece in my heart of like my first art piece. So
Did he pick the purple or did you pick the purple?
he picked the purple.
Cool stuff. I love it.
Yeah, he was doing. I remember that. You know, that he called it. I think he called him that even at the cons. He had a little placard at his table that said "Canson Cuties" because of the.
Yeah, he still does them. I know. I still love them.
Like I said, you know, you can't go wrong. He does not miss on anything that you ask him to do. I think I even had him do a mermaid for one of my daughters once when, you know, at Pittsburgh, and we have it to, you know, still, of course, and it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, he can't fail. His line work is fabulous, and yeah, he's a can't miss person to hit at a show.
Yeah, just so nice too. Just from the interactions that I've had with him online, yeah.
And ML does ask if he always uses or tone paper. I think he goes either way. I mean, I've gotten pieces from him just on Bristol, and the Canson ones I think were just kind of an upgrade. And I think isn't it colored pencil that he uses on it, and so he's always very selective on the color of the paper to match what he's going to do, and they're just fabulous. So yeah, definitely go to CAF and Google Gene Gonzalez, and you'll see a lot of examples.
So many.
Yeah.
So many great pieces.
So many.
Absolutely. And you did a wardrobe change or something there. What's going on? Okay, we'll talk about art first. Oh, I see. I got it. You can't just. Yeah, I hope Anthony's not watching.
That's why I led with the best.
I hear you. All right. Well, let's look at one of your pieces.
Yes. This is amazing. This is actually also the back cover. I mean, it's Jim Ballant, Kim DeMulder inks, which I think Kim DeMulder did a lot with it. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of argument there. But yeah, this was actually the back cover, so it's technically a cover because they used the Catwoman and the signal for the back cover of it. It's the closest I'm going to get to a Catwoman cover. Let's be honest. So
yeah, he keeps all those.
Right. And I love these pages were hard to find when they were available. They're even harder now. And to have this piece is just amazing. And just, I love the design of the costume. I do a lot of the way that he does any kind of costumes. But this it was just so good. And that's why they use this piece for, you know, promotional stuff. So, I mean, it's so great. It really is. And all my photos are so horrible on CAF, and like it's either buy a scanner or buy more art, guys. So please don't complain at me. If you really want to see stuff up close, you just message me. Everybody knows.
I love this series so much. I got the there's a picture of the cat signal and Catwoman's like stalking it or whatever, and I have that tattooed on my arm on my Catwoman sleeve because I just love Jim and love the story so much. It was so good.
It was so good. I loved it. I mean, I don't know. It was just so good, and I loved it. It was so different. And I mean, bad girl era for life, but it was great. It was just great. So I can't say enough just that I love it, and I love it, and I love it. And it's I don't know. It's one of my favorite pieces, obviously. That's why it's here.
I can't blame you for that. Carlos asked if did you buy this from Jim or did you get this from the inker or? No,
this was an eBay auction. I want to say in 2001. I got this one. I have another page. It's Batman and Catwoman fighting, which I think is honestly, it's a little more technical of a page. That page is a much better pinup page. The other page is it's a very good action page, and they're fighting, and it's a vicious good fight because he's very good at the fight and the angulars, and it's anyway. So and that one and there was one other page, and I have a tendency to weird the market, and I fully admit that, and everybody else has a problem with, well, I'm not that, you're not that motivated. Fine, that's your choice. I do, but and I went way too high on some other stuff, and somebody else out there, and I still do not know who this person is. I can tell you their eBay ID, but I can't tell you who they are. But they outbid me on that one, and I wanted the other one. So, but yeah, 2002. Sorry, 2002, and I haven't seen many, if any, come up other than that. Catwoman Vampy is the only other off-spin weird shoot that usually has pages come up frequently-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So, otherwise, have a hope and a prayer and wait for it.
Well, they are rare, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Only so many pages. I mean, what can you do? Like, what was it? It was 46 pages, but it wasn't even the full. So I think it's like only 42 pages in there. So I don't know. Anyway, it's not that many.
If anyone ever has one for sale, they should reach out to you through your CAF gallery, right?
Anything, especially Alan Davis Catwoman. Like, I need an Alan Davis, and there's a Dave Stevens Catwoman out there that I'm an ass about, however many years ago, but I still want it.
Well, let's look at another piece of yours, Lisa. Let's see. All right, here we go.
Okay, so this was very special due to the fact it has my rest in peace Ryoko cat. So Ryoko was a cat that I had for since high school, and she had recently. I really just wanted some Catwoman and Ryoko pieces. So this is from Joelle Jones. If I'm saying Joelle right, I'm butchering her name. Who is, doing Catwoman now, which was amazing. And this is one of my favorite pieces, just because she just looks so happy playing with my cat, with like my cat. It's like Catwoman's playing with my cat. So I think the line work is really, really great, and it's in a really nice Michael's frame hanging up. But yeah, I always kind of wanted to get it, like, I think digitally colored, because I just don't know how I feel about trusting a colorist with it, because I know a lot of people do that, and I've done that with like some other like Sailor Moon pieces or whatever. But I just feel like this is
give him a blue
and this is how it should be. And I love like look at my leg. I don't know, like the leg pop and stuff. So
it's very clean, and you know what? It's so hard to get anything by Joelle Jones these days. So very nice. Very nice. I've heard even the paid for list, even the already prepaid for list, is taking a hot minute.
Oh, yeah, I feel very lucky. So.
Yeah, it's a great piece, and it's so clean, and just like the lines on it, I don't know. Yes, and the play is always very important.
I know, and then it just makes me miss my cat. But other than that, like, this is I like getting good artwork from people that I know that are good. And I believe my friend Lan helped me get this one, as well as a Sailor Jupiter piece from her. So I have two pieces from her that I'm very excited about. Even more so now that she did do some of the she's done a lot of Catwoman and Catwoman pages and stuff that I never saw those go for sale, but I probably couldn't afford it. Let's be honest.
I feel it.
I love her work. So, and you're right. It's tough to get sketches from her. So that's great.
It's so crisp, and so like the expressions are really great. That's what I'm just like. You can see like so much expression in her work. So,
well, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's very sweet when an artist you can't afford, and then all of a sudden they go to not, and it's like, oh yay, but also
I can't get a piece.
And it happens so quick too. These days it's like you'll see somebody at an artist alley one year, and there's nobody at their table, and you can pretty much walk up and talk to them and get anything you want, even though maybe you don't know, you're not very familiar with their work, and then a year or two later they're not even going to the shows because they're too busy. And I mean, it seems to happen quite frequently these days, and a lot more female artists, I think, are finally getting their due in there. Peach Momoko with this custom covers and variant stuff that she's been doing. I mean, there's a lot of I think it's good. It's a great thing. So,
Katie Cook always has a line. Me and Andy talk about.
Oh my God, doesn't she? I have more Katie Cook pieces than of any other artist. Of course, they're all $10 to $12 a piece, but
those little ones.
Yeah,
No, but that makes her great, and she's approachable and she talks to everybody. I hang out with Andy Price. I like Andy Price. And
Andy
Andy
Price
Price,
too. Yeah.
Oh, I love
he draws
Andy.
everything. He draws everything. Let me just tell you, people, he is not My Little Pony. He does great writes-in. He does everything. He does everything. He does everything. And it's just, he's such a great artist. He's such a good dude. Please, for the love of God, check out other artists. Jim Lee is not the only guy out there.
Oh, no, Andy's great. He's one of the ones I've met before. So like I've met Andy before, and I met Katie. I went to C2. I haven't gone to big cons, but I went to C2E2 once.
Next time you're here.
Oh, well, duh.
And but that is, Katie always has a long line.
She does.
But she deserves it. You know, she just but she just puts a lot of effort in things, and she's a phenomenal talent. I mean, I've been buying those cards from her for 15, 20 years. So that's why I have so many of them.
And she's just so nice. She's just so happy to be there. And it's just so refreshing. She's very refreshing.
Absolutely. And I just want to add, Tim, Cadence represents Joelle, right? I always forget. I just wanted to check that. Or did you know that, Kat? Do you know who reps Joelle? Or
I don't, actually. I don't.
I think it might be Cadence comic art.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't work with Cadence. That's why I'm not really sure. But
I only know that the list is ridiculous through people that are on the list. So I don't know anything else about it. I haven't tried yet. So
all right. Well, maybe Timothy will mention it in the. Okay, he says yes. All right, good. Because I always forget. I do a little bit of some PR stuff for them, but I don't. I didn't do their website.
More than you think, Bill. You know more than you think.
Yes. It's all tucked away in there somewhere.
All in there somewhere.
And yes, everybody's saying it's Cadence. All right, good. I got that right. Well, why don't we look at another piece from viewers, Kat?
Yes.
Yes.
This was from one of the newer Kickstarters, the last one, I think, or the one before.
Yeah, last year.
I lose track. But this one was actually he did 3 of these, and one of them ended up being in the 80th anniversary issue for Catwoman.
Yes. I got the other one.
I think I like this one better than the one that got published. So I don't know.
I like this one way better than the one that was published. I was also very mad that he didn't get his own cover. And I've made that explicitly clear.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of tomfoolery that happens. So we can leave it there, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but so Jim was telling me he made 3 pinups. They picked one, and then he auctioned off this one and the one that I got
with her leg up.
The Kickstarter for the Raven. Wasn't it the Raven? No.
I don't know. I backed so many. I lose track, girl.
I know, I do too. I'm not even going to say, I don't know.
In case anyone was wondering, there's a Jim Ballant Kickstarter currently, and Holly has some of the pieces as well. Feel free to go on over.
Oh, yeah. Please.
But yeah, no, I love this piece, the shading on it, the lighting on it. He switched to tonals within recently enough, but just the way that the light that it works on it and everything. I mean, it's just such a solid piece, and like to see it in the flesh and be able to see all his marks, and he does a lot of lives when he does Kickstarters, which is nice because you can see him draw. But it's just, I don't know, I love it, and the lighting on it is perfect. And I really do think, aside from it being more, I suppose, erotic for the newsstands than they would have liked, I do feel that this was a better piece of the choices. But that's what it is. I'd love to see this one inked, but I don't know anybody, and he doesn't like to share who he thinks would be okay for inking, because I do have a lot of pieces that I would like to see inked that Jim has done, but he's not sharing, and obviously he's not doing it.
So what is the current Kickstarter? Because I was going to dig up the link, and I'll make sure I put it into the description of the show when we're done.
Oh, it's the Krampus Chronicles trade paperback. It's on Kickstarter. It's ready to go. I think it ends the 15th or the 14th.
It ends the 15th. I know, because I got to make sure.
I'm really bad at it. I just know what day it starts so I can be there, so I can get in.
All right, I have found it, so that's good. All right, so I'll put that in. I'll link it into the description once we're all through.
I mean, like, honestly, it's a lot of fun, and if you can't understand fun and you didn't have any appreciation for any of the art that came out of the Bad Girl years, which I'm looking at you people who poo-poo it, but like Michael Turner and like James J. Scott Campbell and everybody else, like I'm looking at you. You cannot poo-poo the Bad Girl years. Otherwise, give up all that art that you love and you enjoy. It's just gone.
And I've told Jim this multiple times, is he's probably the reason why I'm such a crazy comic book fan at this juncture of my life. And the fact that he's so approachable and just nice is just amazing. And the Kickstarters that they do a couple a year. They always have these amazing add-ons. So the more people, even if you just pledge like the minimum for like the trade, it adds up and you get all this great swag like afterwards. Like now we get a Krampus patch, and you get like little ID cards for different characters. It's just, I
love Kickstarters. Like that's one of the best things I think that came out of COVID was all of the different Kickstarters doing all the extra reward add-ons. Like Coffin does them, Jim does them. I love the Hexy patch was like my favorite. I was like so happy.
Yeah, and it's
but like it's nice because they just keep packing it on because there's so many of us at home back in Kickstarters now because we got nothing better to do. We're like, well, what's this over here? Because, yeah, it's fun.
That's
like mini comics, you get a little pen, it's fun. I like it.
Carlos asked, what's the paper that he uses on that piece that we just were looking at?
It's a tan tonal paper. It's a tan tonal paper with it's got a little grit to it. I'm not the best on the paper kind. It's got a little bit of pulp to it. It's more to pick up the tones on it and everything. I can't tell you exactly what it is. I'm not that kind of guy.
But it's not vellum though. It's something that's heavier like a Bristol.
It's a tan light pulp paper. It's a tan light pulp paper so that it holds the charcoal and everything better. So
got it. All right, well, let's look at another one here. This is one of yours, Lisa.
Oh, so this was a gift. It is Kevin Wada, as you can see in the corner, it says Heroes 2015. This she's playing with some pearls she stole, and if you notice, she's doing Cat's Cradle.
Mm-hmm.
Little game.
I did not notice, but yeah.
Yeah, no, you look really close. And it's just this great piece that was given to me, and it just means a lot. And it's Catwoman in her Batman the Animated Series costume. And I just like how she's just like, look at me playing games with these pearls, and but also like Kevin does great work, and this is just the shading and like little. You can kind of see like a bustier and around her stomach. I just really thought that this was a really good piece. And also like having to draw those like little beads. He's crazy. Like, why would you? So, but yeah. So I didn't buy this one. This one was a gift from my friend Lan, and it's one of my treasures because it's just like, I feel like you can't really, I don't think that I can get on some people's lists, so I have like him do it for me because he, it's all about who you know and how you can get in there. And so,
hey girl, talk to me.
I know.
I know. That's the hard part though. Once you open that door.
Yeah. So I think this was one of the first animated Catwoman costumes from the animated series that I ever got. So
it's very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I thought it was clever the moment I saw it.
Yeah, great. When I got it, I didn't realize that either, and I had to be told.
I can get to that spot on the Cat's Cradle, and I'm stuck right there. But I can do that.
Like, ha! I can't do it anymore. So.
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
All right, here's a nice one.
I think this is probably one of my favorite pieces. And again, Tom from Fanfare, I have my whopping $2,700 check. That's how much I'm gonna be honest and let everyone know. $2,700 in 2001 or 2, somewhere around in there. Wow. I have the check. But anyway, I'm gonna talk about the art now. I actually Spencer Beck, I believe, was one of the other ones because I actually own the prelim painting for this, and I also have the original sketch for this. So I have like all 3 pieces of the art to go with this piece, which is just amazing, and I love it. But just this piece to me is just, I don't know, like I'm very into Egyptian mythos to begin with, and obviously she's, you could do the Basque thing, obviously with the cats below and everything, and just the lighting on it is great, and just the pose on it is great, and just the look on her, just everything. And then it's got a creature feature, which a creature feature is great. I mean, just everything. And I can't express how much I love this painting, and to see it in real life is like, this picture is amazing and it's a stock photo, but like the real thing is just, because it's oils and it's got all that extra texture, is just amazing. So it's one of the only pieces that I paid actual good money to have framed, because I wanted glass over it to save the oils. So I've got all the burrs and all the extra and the matte glass, and I had to pay a whole bunch of money for the framing job on it, but it was worth it. And that's one of my absolute utter grails.
Yeah, well, Doug Beekman, he can do no wrong, and this was the annual 4 cover, right?
Correct. And if you can see in the tomb around him, it actually says his name. That's where he marked his name, like right up, like to the right.
Oh, I see it.
Right. He actually wrote his name in the hieroglyphs.
I got really excited when I was like, I see it.
Right. Well, it's like Jim Valentin and cats. You got to look in the art, like people.
It's so good. It's so good.
I mean, and it just really is. It's. I mean, it looks great, but it's just so flat on a photo. It's so much better in person. I can't say it enough. I can't say it. He's a phenomenal fantasy painter, and I can't believe he did something like this, to be honest. So it's great. It's great. And I'm happy to own it, and I'm happy to own it for the price I bought it at.
Yeah. You would say you got that for a steal. I'm gonna go sit down.
Yes, I know, Ruben. Yes, I know, Ruben. But I mean, look at it. Could I say no? Could I say no, Ruben? And the last time I checked, I think his regular fantasy pieces, just for like what he rolls off today, are $5,000 a pop. So I still feel I did okay.
Yeah, no, most definitely.
But it was not a small venture. But I cried and whined and complained until it was mine, and now it's mine, and it won't be going anywhere.
I have to take it from my cold dead tomb.
Yeah, basically.
Timothy had asked if he could see the pictures that go with the piece, so I wanted to pull those up out of your CAF gallery.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if they're all in there. They might be. One of them is in the promo photo. In the promo photo that I have, it's up in the top corner. That's the framed prelim. It's very small, but that's the framed original oil painting prelim. Okay. And then the pencil prelim is amazing. Please bring that up. That's great.
Let's see.
It's its own piece of art in and of itself.
I was just seeing the 3 Beekman pieces that were listed in the CAF. I mean, maybe it doesn't have his name on it, but that's the 3 that I can get to, though.
Yeah, it would be just Catwoman Annual 4 sketch would be the closest I could give you right now.
But which gallery room do you think you have it in?
No, I would just Google that in your search engine. I would just do Catwoman Annual 4 sketch.
Oh, I see. Oh, you got it the whole. Okay, gotcha. Man, you're telling me how to use my site.
I've been with you for a long time, and you've changed a lot of stuff, and I need to go back and enter in stuff, and I'm working on it. It's kind of like the scanner. I'll get to it.
Well, there's 22 results in here. Let's see if we can find it.
I don't know, but the pencils on it are amazing. So if you're really into this piece, I would highly recommend it. And if I don't have them posted, I will make sure that I do, because the pencils for this piece are amazing. And I know they're Googleable, because I was talking with someone recently, and they said that they had seen them. So I know they're around somewhere. I don't know how I have anything categorized anymore, though. I apologize.
Well, I can tell you, if you just put Beekman's name into the artist fields, then it'll actually work right inside your gallery. Where when they click on Beekman's name,
absolutely. I have so many things I need to fix, Bill. I gotta get to it.
I get you. No, that's fine. But yeah, at least I wanted to show a few of them. That's good.
Because at the very beginning, I never used to put people's names in at all. So then I had to kind of go back, and then
Exactly.
It's a process.
No, well, that was a fantastic painting. I'm sure that you will keep that till your dying days.
Well, yeah, people never even bother to ask me, and I'm happy for that.
How much would you sell this for? It's not for sale.
Right, it's not for sale.
Yeah, where NFS really means NFS.
About it, I mean, maybe, but I still doubt it.
See, all right. So here is another piece from Lisa.
Okay. several reasons why this was brought up. So yes, it's Jim. This was the first piece he ever drew on that tonal paper, and he drew Catwoman with a tiger, and the tiger is my favorite big cat. So I was like, this needs to be mine. And I remember I was jogging on a treadmill when this went up for sale, and I immediately was like screaming at Holly, like, please let me have I want this one. Please let me get this. And she was like, I think there's one person ahead of you, but then it wasn't, it was me. And so I was like, I got it. So this is framed and hanging up just because I just love that it's Catwoman with a big cat, like how I always imagined her being, with, surrounded by cats, but like she's thinking of like either busting somebody out of something or making some mischief somehow. I just think that her expression is great, and she's just with this tiger, and I just want to know the backstory of it, like make a story. I don't know, but this is because it's Jim and there was a tiger. I was like, yeah, this is mine. So I was very excited to get this one.
Very nice.
Thank y'all.
Oh,
no.
There she is. She's back. She's back.
No, the storm picked up really good here, and I got you could hear me and I guess see me, but everything froze on mine. Sorry.
That's okay. When I had the image up, I didn't realize I had dropped out, or I would have pulled you back in earlier. I'm sorry.
No, but I'm so happy that you got that one. I didn't know that you had for a little bit until you had that one photo that you posted up. So I was really happy you got that one, because it was one that I was like, oh. I want to know who got the purple. Who is anyone here that got the purple tonal Catwoman that just went on the Kickstarter? I'm just saying.
There was a purple one?
Yeah, he used a little bit of colored pencil on it.
Whoa.
So it wasn't exactly
like,
purple, but yeah, it's got the tones. It's different. I like it. So anyway.
And I just so you know, Doug Beekman actually used to have a gallery on CAF. I didn't know that.
I didn't know.
And I think the sketch might have been in his gallery. I can show you because I didn't know, but he hasn't updated his gallery in a couple of years. But that was the piece.
That is it.
That is it. Okay, so yes, that is in Doug's gallery.
Look at that thing.
Yeah, I'll have to email him, see if maybe he lost access, because the last piece he added was in 2016, but he had the gallery since 2005. So. And clearly he was posting a lot of his own collection here too. So interesting. See, I know it's stuff like that go on. CAF is just too busy. I miss stuff like that. I didn't even know he had a gallery on CAF. So there we go.
Yeah, but the prelim on it, come on.
I know.
Oh, Norm. Okay, let's just have a moment of quiet for one of the top 10 Batman artists of all time. And the horrible things that, we'll just leave it there. But anyway, Norm's a great dude. I love this commission to death. It was one of his closer to last ones that he did. We talked a lot of it. I saved all the emails because, again, that's how I am. But yeah, no, we went back and forth. Catwoman's mouth is actually a really big paste up. This is one of the only ones I bothered to take a decent enough photo. But this one has been scammed on DeviantArt and eBay and a bunch of other places. People have colorized it and made prints, and it's very disheartening. Honestly, I wish that somebody would take this print. Like, I would gladly give it up if somebody wanted to print it and put it out there as Norm's work, because you're a member of this group, Lisa, but when the Catwoman collector group or whatever, they had put this up as a piece from a DeviantArt person or whatever, and there was a few of us. Anthony also chimed in. We're like, no, this is Norm's work. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But there was a whole story that went with this, and I told them what I wanted when I got the commission for it. This whole commission, I think, was $600 or $800, if you can believe that too. I had a whole story in mind. I said, I want Catwoman just coming back from a caper and just having a good time. And I was like, I want him just chilling out with some loot or something. And I want Batman to pop up and be like, man, I am so disappointed in you, but I don't care. And so we went back and forth for a long time, and he finished it. And then her face and his face are both a little bit of whiteout on Batman's face, and there's a little bit of whiteout on Catwoman's, just because we changed the expressions. He did at the last minute. He was like, no, this isn't quite right. So if you look on it really close, Batman's got this face like, Catwoman's kind of got this it's a much more casual smirk than it was originally. It's much more like, I don't care. And it's so perfect. And it's so Norm, and just the story that went with it. And like the conversations I got to have with him while we were doing it was just amazing. And he really went above and beyond on this. And I don't know, top 10 Batman artists of all time. Don't care. You can fight for it, you'll lose.
I love how she's just reclining with the drink in her hand, like.
Right. And I said I wanted a martini. She should have a martini. And he was all like, "All right." I love martini. So I love Norm. It's great. It's a great piece. It's obviously scammed often, which is why I don't put up a lot of pieces. I don't put up everything I own. So because this one is, I really wish somebody would, just so people know that it's Norm.
Right.
So because it's been sold as prints, it's been colorized, it's been everything. They've zoomed in, they've whatever. It's horrible. So I mean, there's a foible of owning not published but real art. Like that's a foible right there. So I mean,
exactly.
And it's a great piece that I really think it is one of the more solid composures, everything that he did for. I mean, so it's a great piece, and I hope everybody sees. Obviously, everybody does. I mean, I leave it up, and it gets a lot of love, and I appreciate that. So, because Norm was a good thing. Lefties for life. So.
Norm left us too soon. That's for sure. I mean, just over 2 years ago. Yeah.
A lot of his stuff was everything that happened was just, I don't know, a doggone dirty shame.
Completely agree. And that's too bad about people. You know, that's the problem on CAF, of course, is that people will always scam images, and it's
That's why I don't put up some stuff. I mean, they ruin it for everybody, you know.
Right.
like sharing, but.
Yep, I don't blame you. I mean, a lot of people have closed their CAF galleries because it happens, or they intentionally post very small pieces. So
try to take shitty
or they do watermarks. Yeah, it's and I can't tell you, there's so many people that I get complaint emails all the time from, like, I hate the fact that people on CAF put watermarks on their stuff. They're defacing the art, and I'm like, well, it's their art to deface at the end of the day. If they don't want,
they really want to be able to use it as a phone thing for free. And otherwise, they don't want to pay for it. It's like, okay, well,
yes.
That's fine. Here's your watermark.
Yes. Hey, there's lots of. I know Albert Moy gets a ton of traction because people are too lazy to scan art that they buy from him, and then he gets his watermark in their gallery on several pieces. So
you got to get it how you can get it.
That's right, exactly.
The worm catches the bird. Wait.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a great piece, and you can see why people swipe it, unfortunately, because it's such a fantastic image.
I love it. It's so great. It really is. And Norm killed it, and it was great. And it is one of his last, huzzas. Mm-hmm. So it's good. Yay!
Yay. So this is Richard Cox based off of Adam Hughes. And this was made right after my cat Ryoko had passed away. And so he had created this as like a like I'm sorry type situation, but also like honoring Ryoko, and also kind of putting his own little spin on Selena Kyle. That we know the DC Women of the Universe poster that Adam did, and he made Catwoman in all black instead of white like the other people. So this is what that's based off of, but it's clearly still, it's in honor of the Adam Hughes, but it's also in honor of, like, they put my cat in there, and he, did it in his own, and Richard did it in his style. And it's just, I have it hanging in like a really special frame above Ryoko's little ashes. So this is it with Copic markers on like a half bust piece from him. And the scan doesn't really do it a whole bunch of justice, but like I really feel like the earring just shines, and it's one of those Catwoman Selena Kyles that is just makes me smile when I see it.
Well, I can see why. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Just the blending on it too with her hair and stuff like that. It looks so good.
I know. I tell you, I think that's one reason why I like original art so much, is because it's well, A, it's original, so it should only be yours, you know, and you paid for it. But like, it's just like this thing that I have to remember her by, with my favorite characters. So a lot of my art, not a lot of it, but I do have quite a few pieces that has like Catwoman with Ryoko, just because she was like my first cat confidant, and then Catwoman is my favorite thing in the entire world almost. So those two being together is natural for me, I guess, at this point.
Right, I only have one piece that I put animal in, and it's Earl Geyer, which for $30, if you want somebody take a time out, if you're into aliens in any way, shape, or form, take a time out, go to my gallery and check out the Earl Geyer piece, $30. And this man drew me a piece. Jonesy was my cat, and Jonesy is the name in Aliens for anybody who doesn't know. So, and I wanted him, I was like, I want an alien just like, you know, looking at the cat and the cat being like, eh. So what he drew was like Jonesy going to bat at the alien, like, screw you. And the alien just being like, and it's so detailed. And I was like, hey, and working like a triad or like some Sierpinski thing anyway. And he just did like, and it's insane. It's absolutely insane for $30. And he's a sci-fi god. And like, again, you don't have to have $1 million. Yeah, right there.
Yeah,
there it is.
I saw that. That's insane.
$30. And that's my cat Jonesy, and that's the only one that I have that I've gotten for animals. So
that's great.
Nice.
Right? Can you believe that? And like, and it's a little bit bigger than I think it's an 11 by 12. So
wow. Right?
And he's from the area. He's from Illinois too, up around in this area, not quite Chicago, but in the area or whatever. So, but yeah, I could not believe that. I mean, I've gotten so many commissions from people. I got Sean Russell did some other stuff. I mean, and they're just so cheap, but you get quality, great work. I mean, like you don't have to spend millions to get that kind of awesome.
There you go. That's great. And another wardrobe change too. I don't know. It's
Neil Adams.
Neil, yeah.
I don't know. It's down there.
Yeah. There we go. All right. Man, Neil is online enough. We don't.
No, I know he is. He's online.
It's funny because I set myself on Facebook to get notifications when he goes online, and I swear he's online like twice a day there's once in the afternoon and once in the evening.
I don't even think he knows sometimes. He's like, am I online? Yeah, I guess. Okay.
All right. Let's sell. I mean, he's clearly he's doing well with all those, with the mystery boxes that he's got, and he says all these, he does a lot of sketches. So I think that's great.
I do. He does some good stuff. Like this is one of the last commissions I had gotten before the COVID came, was a Catwoman with a Joker out the side of it or whatever at the New York Comic Con. So that was my first original that I commissioned from Neil. So that was nice. I'm not sure if I actually posted the whole image. I know I posted it on my page with just the Catwoman, but I didn't include the Joker because, again, people are dirty, dirty thieves.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't keep those thieves out of CAF, unfortunately.
Right. And it's funny though, because Neil thought I was going over there for Anthony. Everybody always thinks I'm over there for Anthony. That's the funniest thing to me. I'm all like, no, like I'm here for Anthony. I'm like, no, I'm here for me. I gotta remember to take the badge off.
I'm not working.
I'm not working.
This is professional. This is personal.
Yeah, they don't believe you anyway. Trust me. You think they'd know better? I'm like, check my cat. Oh yeah, yes. I mean, is there anything that Phil Jimenez does that's trash? I mean, can someone show me one piece anywhere? Anyway, no, this and Andy Lanning too. Let me give you credit on that because he drew like every scale on this piece and every leaf on every tree, and just like it is such a you can't see it in this, obviously. I mean, but it's such a solid piece, and the layout and the design, and you've got every single dinosaur you could possibly want.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
What more could you possibly? And Wonder Woman in charge, in front, doing like just what more as a dinosaur person and a Wonder Woman person and a Phil Jimenez person, and I mean, like, what more could you possibly want other than the splash? I'm just gonna leave it there. Feel free, anyone, pick up. Anyway, but no, this is honestly, this fell and like I was flipping through Anthony's books, and there it was, and now it's here. I really don't. anything to say other than just the amount of patience that went into this and the layout and just everything. It's just such a good use of space, and then the negative where they put the stuff. It's great. And this actually has the vellum flip over that has the titles on it. It actually has it. It's on the back. I would have to flip it forward, but it does have them.
Oh, so that's what's missing in the upper right. Got it.
Yeah. Yes.
Very cool.
Wow.
Yeah, no, Phil can do no wrong. I've always loved his work.
They're all like so close to my screen. Like I still didn't know, and I looked at them.
That's the one thing I can't give anybody a warning. It happens all the time because we always have to lean in. All my guests have to lean in to see the work, and then it's like at some point I have to turn this off. That's what the private chat is for that I never use.
It was a hard sell between that one or there's a Shadow of the Bat page too that I have that he did that has like a whole bunch of iconography, and it has Batman and has everybody like in that whole that whole page is just, I don't know, it's just amazing. Like, so check that one out too, Phil Jimenez. I think it's a Shadow of the Bat page, I want to say. I think that might be wrong though. I don't remember. Anyway, but it's amazing. You should check that one out too, because it's got everything. It has literally everything that you could possibly ever want from Phil. It's great. It's great.
All right. Well, anybody that's watching this on YouTube, I know that I put both Lisa and Kat's gallery links in the description there. I don't think I did it on Facebook yet. I'll do that after the show. But yes, you can browse along with us while we're doing this.
Yay!
I like your little yays are
But that's what you should get from this one, because she's all tossing it up. Yay!
I know. This reminds me of DuckTales.
I was just going to say the same thing. This is Scrooge Mcduck, but
diving into like his den of money. This is a Chris Samney, if I'm saying his name right.
Samney, yep.
Yeah. Okay. He this was several, I think 2011. I'm not entirely sure, but he still does it to this day. Is like he'll just draw like random daily pieces and then he'll put them up for sale. Well, he had done that with this piece, and this is the scan from his store, but the one that I have in person, it actually says Too Spazzy, which is another one of like my nicknames. So it says Too Spazzy on there, and I mean, it's classic Catwoman in a money bin. Like, what's not to love about this piece?
The joy on her face.
I know. She's just like, oh, it's like she broke into like Wayne's, money bin, and she's just so excited. I always look at this and think of DuckTales, which it was a fond cartoon that I love.
The new ones are great too.
And yeah, so and it's I mean, he just randomly drew this. And I knew it had to be mine just because it was in her Golden Age costume, and that's, my favorite. But I mean, yeah, it's and he was really nice. So I follow him on Twitter, and that's how I knew that this was coming up for sale, and that's how I snagged this. Was basically like stalking and impatiently waiting, whereas now he puts the pieces up on eBay, and anytime he has a Catwoman on eBay nowadays, I'm like, oh, I just wonder how much. Oh, nope. Okay. I can't afford that. And then walk away. So
ground floor. Good for
yes. Ground floor, almost 10 years ago. Yes. So I feel very fortunate to be able to have this. I don't have any actual splash pages like you do, Kat, but
really?
I don't have any of them. I have nothing. I was just thinking about that. So I do have more commission and or art pieces that they then put up for sale. Is I guess is my thing. Is my bag.
Oh, that's a great bag to have, girl.
Well, thank you very much. So, yeah.
Yes, you definitely have more commissions and convention sketches than published pieces, but that's all right. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. No. And I love Chris's work too. I mean, and you're right. He does a lot of eBay auctions. He'll usually do a big batch of things for what, I think in Halloween he did just a whole month of drawing.
Battober.
Yeah, it's Battober, and then he put all those pieces up 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think, and they always do really well for him. So
Trust me, because I was like, oh, I need updated pieces. No, I don't.
yeah. No, I was looking at those too. I mean, because I just like his work. I mean, it's
And it's another genuinely nice guy, you know, like he seems like I haven't, that's another one I've never met in person, but he just seems like a nice guy. And from stories, I know that he's, yeah. So like, I also like supporting, you know, like nice people. You get it. Okay. I don't
Oh, yeah.
Totally get it. I am straight walked away from people. I'm like, okay.
Oh, yeah. No. Yes.
I'm like, okay, bye.
Okay, thanks for talking to me like them too. Okay, bye.
I'm sorry. Is there pink over there? I gotta go.
It's like,
Oh, I don't think you do that. I don't think you do that.
You're right. I'm much more rude.
But let's look at some more art.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness.
oh gosh, yeah.
Now here is where I must mention Annabelle from Kirby, Kirby's comic art team. Please check them out. She handles a lot of big stuff. She's great. Annabelle's great. Everybody at her group is great. She's got David McInerney, but this masterpiece is William March.
Yes.
March for me, like just the faces he does all his own stuff. And I mean, just like I was lucky enough, Annabelle got me a couple pieces, and just like I wasn't somebody that was really on my radar at all. And I fell in love. And then like the design that he did on the costume for the new-ish one, you know, the open shoulders. I don't know what we're calling that one yet. But and it was right. But it was just, it's so great. And just like the composition on this one and the Harley Quinn and everything, I love this piece so much. And just like his inks are so good, and he does his own stuff. I mean, and it's just so good. I have the one where Catwoman is over Joker's body on this too, where she's digging him out. And that one is just the saturation levels on that and just the layout on it. And it's just such a gloom page too. I can't say enough how much I love William's work. And I'm lucky to have the pieces that I have from them. So,
what, is this a splash page or is this a commission?
This is an interior splash. Harley Quinn came to Catwoman's rescue. She was about to get schwacked by a bunch of people while she was digging out.
Yeah, okay.
And Harley Quinn came and bailed her out, basically.
Oh, it looks so good,
right? Like for an interior like splash, it's so solid. It's a pinup. That doesn't matter. It's a pinup.
So pardon me for being a newbie in this area. Like, how big is a splash page? So how big is this?
This is an 11 by 17.
Okay, so yeah. That's amazing.
Right. So anyway, and just, I don't know, his faces for me, William March's faces are just like that. He can, like, I got another piece that's was a promo that they used for Instagram, I think is what they said it was for. I haven't actually seen it printed or colorized or otherwise, other than from what I saw on her site. Yeah, no, it's great. And just, you can tell everything through just the faces, and it's just, he does such a different, unique style, and it's a very European-y look to it, and you know, obviously a little French and stuff in there, but it's so, I don't know, it's just new, and I like new, and I like refreshing. So like, I don't know, William March is somebody that I didn't know and I wasn't about, but now I am on the rooftops.
That's a great piece.
For sure, because Annabelle does well, and she's got a lot of heavy hitters in her thing, and she pulls out a lot of good new artists, and not even people that are new, just, you know, it's a great place. And she's a great lady. She's super nice. She works with you, and she makes it, she's somebody that helps work with people, and and she has a humanity to it. It's not just here's the dime, let's go. Like, it's like there's some stuff to it. So it's nice. So,
and she just had a birthday, I think, yesterday. So
she did. Oh my God, did you see that piece that everybody chimed in on for her? She's so lucky that she's working. She's to have a piece like that. Are you kidding me? That's so great.
I know.
Like, sure, seriously, that's so good. But that's how great she is.
I know. She's fantastic. Like, she helped me out a lot for that November show, the Comic Art Live show that we had, and William March was actually on day one. So he was on for an hour as well. So if you didn't catch that interview, and he was I didn't get to do that interview though, but I watched it, and yeah, he was great to have on the screen and talk with him. So you should check that out as well.
Absolutely.
But yes, Annabelle's great. Kirby's comic art is great. She's like the Felix Liu in Europe. You know, they basically just she's got the same approach to representing her artists, and she's very open to helping out. She reached out to me, in the summer and said, "What can I do to help you make the show better?" And
Right.
just worked with me right up until the show. She, did a lot of PR. She, without me asking, she's just very helpful. Definitely is concerned about the future of the hobby and really wants to just see everybody win. And I like that approach to business. That's the way I look at things.
Community is our strongest thing, because we are very, very tight. Like if you like all the squabbling, like you talk about, before in the green room,
Mm-hmm.
but like our industry was built on squabbling. And if you don't understand squabbling, you've clearly never been in a real comic book shop before. You've never
Yes.
come out, put more than 10 minutes into shopping at your shop, or you shopped at Borders or Barnes and Noble, but you've never spent time in a comic book shop if you don't understand the art of the squabble.
Quite true.
I know
Very
that,
true.
I know that all too well. Every Saturday.
So if you want to see a show at the comic shop, you go on Saturday. That's how it.
That's when I'm there, and that's
Wednesday can get a little testy.
Wednesdays too. Of course.
okay. So as you can see, there is a calico cat. That is Ryoko, and then so this is one of my dear friends, an amazing artist, Kristen Allen. I've met her multiple times in person. I talk to her almost every day. And what I like to do with people that I'm really comfortable with, I like to just give them an idea and let them just go with it. So I had asked her for a Catwoman deck star piece, the little Red Lantern Blue Russian, as you can see, she's squeezing. And she added Ryoko, and then that black cat in the middle, if you can see him, that's Puka. He is still around. He is very old, but he just cost me like 2 of those paintings recently because he was sick. But this is like a 9x12, and that's all color pencils. And she just, I think I asked for just like a bust with Dexstar, but then she just did a full figure with all of my kitties at the time. And I love it. And it's cute because I like cat characters. So clearly there's Dexstar and Catwoman, and then just the added Ryoko. Just like calico cats are so individual because they have like different patch patterns. And she got like, I feel like the attention to detail on her patchwork is amazing. And then also look at Catwoman's hair. It's just like flowy and beautiful. It's not just like this stringy just there. So I really appreciate Kristen's attention to details. And I think you can really see it in this piece. And that was one of the reasons why I chose it.
Well, it is absolutely gorgeous.
And I like how the you can tell that the whip was in her thigh high boots, but you could see the outline. Like I think, yeah, it's just like little details like that is just like what gets me. You're just like So, and sometimes I think like little details like that go unnoticed, but like I'm always just like, look at all this other like little stuff that so and so did in this piece. So this is one of the pieces I got when I was still living in Abilene, Texas. So this is one of the, I think this would still be one of the first pieces that I ever got.
Very cool. Very nice.
Thank you.
And I didn't want to miss these comments since we were praising Kirby's comic art. ML, his name's Mikhail. He said he got a giant package with amazing pieces in it from Annabelle. And
I'm waiting for mine.
Legging said that Mikhail did an unboxing and we should watch it after the interview's over. Mikhail, you should post the link to it so we could see the zoo piece.
I got a zoo. I got one of the storms. I got a zoo. It's on the way. I can't wait to see it. That's my first zoo, so I'm super excited because I'm not usually excited for color, but I got one of the zoo storms from Annabelle, so I'm excited to see that one. That one's going to be in my thing.
Very cool.
So I don't know. I've never even heard of her before, which is why again, Kirby, it worked out great. She just keeps popping out like stuff that I wasn't paying so much attention to, and like Zoo, I had zero idea about, like none. Like I hadn't heard about her,
It works fantastic.
Yeah. Amazing. So like I was lucky to snag that storm because I think mine is the better storm. But, But no, I'm really happy, and I just want to see what it looks like in the flesh because it's color. I mean, so it's gonna be great. I'm really excited for it.
Cool. Well, this is just my call to Mikhail. Please share that link with me, and I'll because I'd like to watch it. And maybe I can put it in the description or something. I'm sure Kat and Lisa would like to see it too.
Yes. Okay. So I love a story in Marvel Fanfare 40. I'm not sure anybody's really familiar with it. I seem to be the only person that is, but I'm really in love with it. And Mac did the Storm as one of his, I think it was his Brush and Inks 2 set. And I had managed to get a commission slot, and I was all like, well, I don't know, but it triggered the Marvel Fanfare story, which is Mystique and Storm talking to each other. And I had to have the opposite piece, and just the way that he made her the dark and the light, and the way that he matched it up, because it's two separate pieces on, that he made it work. And so I can't say enough how much I like this piece, and I'm so happy, and again, thankful to David and Annabelle for making this happen. So this is one of the ultimate standoffs in the Marvel universe that never gets enough attention, in my opinion. So
yeah, I don't think I'm familiar with it. I'm a big X-Man.
Yeah, but just the dark strokes and the light, and just the way that it played up, and the way that I could stagger them to set them so that they're faced off, and it's the best standoff ever, and I love it.
Well, a Mohawk Storm, you don't see enough of those.
Oh, the Storm is it. It's the only Storm for me. It's the only Storm. Well, there's lots of other Storms, but that one's my favorite.
Yeah, no, it's a favorite period of mine as well, so I think that's really cool.
I cheated with this one. Oh, also you can see, look, the watermark. This is actually 3 pieces that interchange. Not interchange. They connect to make one big piece. This is from Mario Chavez, as you can see on the watermark, and this came from his DeviantArt page because I couldn't get good scans at the time. So Mario was another artist that I got artwork from strictly through internet connections, or just basically I saw him on DeviantArt, and I was just like, oh, can we do some commission work? And we decided he was doing a whole bunch of different sketches with the different tonal papers, and so I literally was just like, can we do one with Poison Ivy, one with Catwoman, and one with Harley Quinn? And he was like, yeah, let me think of something. And this is one of, I think this is the most viewed quote unquote piece in my CAF gallery. But as you can see, it just has like every single element that you would want from each of the different characters. You got a big old mallet with Harley, you got Catwoman with all the money and a black cat, and then you got Poison Ivy with like a man-eater with her. And I just always thought that he did a really good job. And as you can see, like I was saying, the little details, you can see different like the leaf on the man-eater is coming into Catwoman's portrait, as well as a vine in the background, and the moon is with Catwoman and Batman, but also with Harley and Joker. And I just think that it was really well put together, and he made a simple request just amazing. So and for whatever reason, I really like that Poison Ivy's wearing flip-flops. I always figured that she would just not have shoes on, but he gave her flip-flops and she's got like little red toenail polish on there. So I just really enjoy the fact that I just gave an idea and he just went with it, but then added all this extra flair to it that I didn't even request. So I thought that was really badass, if you ask me.
It is.
Batman is lurking in the shadows.
I know, right?
He's like, really, girl? Really? Again?
We're like, how many times do we have to do this dance?
I mean, it's fun, but there's other ways. You could just call me.
Yeah, I know, right?
That would be too easy. It can't be like that.
No mouse game then, right?
Exactly. And so there's a question for you both. Whoever wants to take it first, but the question says, what do you look for in picking an artist for commissions, and do you ever commission work from indie artists, so people who aren't published?
I
Do you
would
want to
say,
go?
oh yeah, I'm sorry. I have a lot of unpublished like indie artist work, just because I've seen something on Twitter or DeviantArt or even CAF, and you go in there and you learn a little bit about the person and their style, and it's just like, oh, I think like that's within my budget. Are they willing to draw Catwoman? Not Halle Berry or anything like that.
Willing
But
to do
yeah,
like Catwoman. Yes.
I'm just like, well, you draw Catwoman. So if I see a new artist, I'm like, Catwoman, anything that you want to do besides that one. And if they're like, yeah, I'm like, great. And then if I like the piece, then I'll keep coming back. It's all about also just like if they're nice. I also Etsy. I find a lot of just random independent artists on Etsy, and that I've already created these amazing like Catwoman pieces, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna get this. And then by the way, do you do commissions? Because like maybe I want a Sailor Moon later, So yes, I look for if I also want to make sure that they're like a good person. I don't want to support someone that's a dick to anybody, so. I try to make sure like reviews are good as well as like good communication, and sometimes I feel like I don't pay them enough, so then I'll send them more just because they're just like, well, this is how much this is going to cost, and I'm like, you deserve more than what this is. So yeah, I base it off of if they can draw who I want first, and then we go from there. If we have like a lifelong friendship afterwards, let's do it, so.
Right.
Man, yeah, go ahead, Kat.
I would say, I don't know, for me, I do a lot of independents, but a lot of the independents I do a lot of different art, or I'll do more like Cthulhu-y stuff. I'm into Cthulhu. I love creature features and stuff like that, but I absolutely, but I absolutely go after everybody. Right now, honestly, they're much more of an independent artist right now. Stephen Butler. Stephen Butler's been cranking out some really nice custom recreation covers for Coffin. And I bothered to talk, like, to just be like, hey, like, I love this and whatever. And he is just cranking out amazing stuff. And I actually got him to do a Miss Fury cover on one of his books that he put together anyway. So, and it's amazing. Like, I cannot say enough about, and he undercharges. Like, I'm putting you out there, Steven. You undercharge, way undercharge. So he needs to get up there. He's gotten way more booked this year, which is amazing. So good for him. I want him to do some of the recreations on the Louis Dominguez piece. Yeah, so I absolutely love independence. And like I said, that Earl Geyer, the Sean Russells, I've got 3, I think, Sean Russells. And he does he does a lot of digital work for some smaller companies and stuff like that now, but his pencils and just, I wish he would have gotten somewhere and gotten some traction because he's so worth it. I mean, so check out his stuff. I mean, but yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I just like a style that they've got. And yeah, if they're willing to draw Catwoman, is definitely a bonus.
Well, I saw Lisa taking notes, so I think she wrote down Stephen Butler's name. So
Stephen Butler's amazing. I can't say enough about Stephen Butler. Everybody's all like, oh, Sonic, oh, this. And I'm like, oh, but these things. They're like, oh, really? Stephen Butler? And I'm all like, so I'm like, I love and he's a great dude. He's a nice dude. He's a dude that you should support because he's a cool dude. So like, and he's super nice and he way undercharges. So Steven, raise your rates, please. I'm telling you, raise your rates. So, but yeah, no, he's great. He's worth every penny. Please stop attacking him with sales because I would like to get my stuff done.
I've always been a fan of Steven's work.
Don't like him too much for just a little bit longer, okay? But he's great. He's great, and he can knock out any style. He's very good at everything. His inks are great. Like, he's very strong in the inking department. So he does a lot of like he recreates a lot of stuff from Heck to Kirby to other stuff. He adds it all in there, and again, he can knock out those recrees like nothing. So
very cool. No, I've always liked his work too. I mean, he's been around a while, and I always wondered why he doesn't work more, right? Because I don't know a lot about him, but his style is incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
oh yes, this is the one that I want him to get the recreation on, the title on. Yeah, this is a Grail, and again, here's a hidden one for you. In the bottom, down by her feet at the door, there's a cat in that block all the way down to the bottom. So there's your hidden cat.
Oh.
it's there. So, but no, I love this page. It was really, it just all of a sudden came up and it was just there. And you saw me. I don't ever really come out for these things, but I came out for this one. So it was a top 10 Grail piece. I love it. Just everything about this page and the darkness that he brings in with it, but just all the flow and I love it. It's great. I don't know. It's definitely in the top 10 of my favorite pieces so far. So.
Well, it's got everything.
It has everything.
It's a giant cat.
Yeah, well, and you should also look at the face. Look at the face on the cat that the girl's holding. He's just like, screw you guys. This sucks. Like just everything.
Acted like the cat wasn't there. We probably would be okay. That's so great.
But so it's got hidden cats, it's got double cats, it's got attitude, it's got the girl's face is just like you can feel the emotion. I mean, it's just the whole thing. And I mean, if you read the stories inside of it, it makes a little more sense with stuff too, and then it gets even better. And just the whole thing is great. And he did this all himself. There wasn't anybody else, so that's great too. I don't know. I love it. I love it. And it's so delicate, but so I don't know. It's just so it's heavy and it's delicate at the same time, and it's just great.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, Dominguez is fantastic, and Anthony was like, "Yeah, I can't wait for Kat to see this."
Right. I'm just gonna sit here and stare at my own art for a few because
taking it off the screen, you can't stare at it anymore.
Right. Well, that's why I want to get the title so I can actually frame it, because right now, just because it's got such a good wasted space, I mean, so I got to get the titles, otherwise I can't frame it, and then it has to be in a book, and it doesn't deserve to be in a book.
Right.
So.
That's
No, well, I've got it open on my computer, so I zoomed in to look at the cat in the brick because I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it on the screen. But yeah, that's great.
It's there. Oh, like that face.
Hey, that good sound effects.
So this was it. I think Jim was just doing like random commissions at one point. And this was a Copic marker piece that they were.
He only did 10 of them.
Yeah. And he forgot about mine. And I wasn't, and this was like kind of when I was still like in that new, like, I'm not going to really ask what's going on. Like, what are we doing? And so I finally was just like, I emailed Holly about it. And then they were very apologetic and they were like, oh my God, we cannot believe that this happened. And I was like, y'all are running your own like studio thing, get over it. And, I'm not mad. And so he popped this out and all I asked was for just just the classic Jim Ballant Catwoman. And he decided to throw in Robin's underpants and domino mask. And I think that it's one of the highlights just because she's like caught in the moment, like, oh no, but like, what are you doing with that? What are you doing with that? What are you going to do with it? Like, I wish you would, I don't know, but I just think that it was just a fun,
I love how you want the story that goes with it. I really love that. I really love that about you. Like, where's the story? Like, she's just looking.
Why is it Robin's? Like, why is she not stealing like the cowl of Batman or something? Why is it Robin's domino mask and underpants? Like, what are you?
She's messing with the bird.
So I always like try to make up stories about some of my art pieces, but this one I'm just like, well, who caught her? Did Alfred catch her? But like, where is she and where's she going? So
why is this surprised?
I love it to death. So this was, I just wanted to feature this one. It's it's another one of my, I didn't really know like which art pieces to talk about, I guess, because I love all of them. And then I was just like, well, I want it to mainly be Catwoman. So then I just went into my little CAF feature and I looked for like most impressions. And this was like the second one. So I was like, oh yeah. And it's also Jim. So Jim brings us all together. So it's, great circle.
It's the magic.
Most definitely.
Well, I'm glad you did that. That's usually when what I do when I'm going to interview somebody is I go to their CAF gallery and I sort by most comments and the most views or impressions. I think it says impressions on there, but I always look at that first because I figure that's the thing that most other collectors are looking at with regards to the person I'm interviewing, and that's how I started out with you guys too. Before we got online, I always check things out that way. So I encourage people when you go to a gallery that you like and you see artwork you like. Check things out that way. Click on the most views filter or the most comments, and it really, you're going to find stuff in their gallery that would be so much harder to find, especially if they've been on CAF for a long time and they have several other pieces of art. That's the way to do it. So that's a trick.
I don't even know how to look through CAF anymore without just being like,
It's very overwhelming, but it's also like
4 hours later, I'm like, I have to go eat or something.
Yeah, I know. It definitely sucks up a lot of my time during the day, just browsing too. I mean, I spend a lot of time on CAF just enjoying it, just like everybody else. So
you're living the life, though, Bill. It's a little different.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel that way for you.
I would much rather stare at art all day than my other.
Right? There's a million things you could have to do, Bill.
That's right. That's right. Well, I gotta talk to the dealers. It's not all that glamorous.
That's the hard part right there, is that you got to keep all those guys talking and whatever, and
exactly. Like we were talking about earlier in the green room. I said I've got to be everything to everyone and always have a smile on my face, and that's all right. I like being in the middle. I learn a lot, and I get to talk to a lot of interesting people. And at the end of the day, it's
be a silly, crazy Catman collector.
Exactly.
Just smile and nod.
So this next image isn't Catwoman.
Oh, I had to throw in a few. I know, but
yeah, so good.
This is I don't know. I'm gonna say some stuff, and it's a little controversial, but I love Al Rio like a whole lot. And again, he's another one that's gone from us too soon. I don't know. I think Al Rio is one of the better ones to come out of the Bad Girl era, and this particular piece was used on literally everything. Like it was merchandising. Have you heard of me? But I mean, this piece was everywhere. But what's really a shame is if you can see all the different extra details and stuff on the flames and everything, that it really lost out when it got colored and other things, and like the wings. And if you look at the colorized piece that was just plastered on literally everything, I think Chaos used this thing literally on everything.
They did.
I have lunch boxes, I have T-shirts, it was on the promos everywhere. It was everywhere. This thing that was it. This was the penultimate Fergie piece. And yeah, I'm happy to be the owner of this. And it is 4,000 times better than you will ever see in any of the colorized versions. It lost a whole bunch of detail, and just this is it for me. This is never leaving. It's never going anywhere, so don't bother to ask. It's here forever. And yeah, I just the detail in it, and it's great. And he's just such a clean artist, and it's just a fun artist, and the way that he draws women's bodies was nice, and he gave them more of a muscular structure, which was great too, instead of the more waif long lines, but he still had the long lines and just everything.
Very clean line work, I would say. Yeah.
Right. So great. So again, it's sad that he's gone too, but
I totally forgot about that too until you had just mentioned it, and I was like, that's another one gone too soon.
And I'm gonna say something that's a little unpopular, but I did kind of like Rio's bodies of work better than J. Scott Campbell's stuff.
Oh.
And it's argumentative.
Everyone is entitled to their opinion.
Don't get me wrong, J. Scott Campbell is amazing, but
no.
Well, no, I thought that Al was he was a very good artist. He really was, and he didn't get. You're right. He was somewhat controversial, but he worked his tail off.
Yeah, he was everywhere, and people didn't even really know that either. And people didn't know he did the Disney stuff, and he didn't know he did the other stuff. I mean, he was.
I didn't know he did Disney stuff. What?
Yeah, yeah.
He was busy. He was so busy.
Yeah, and it's just a shame that nobody I don't know, and there's still a lot of Rioites out there, which is good. So, but
I just looked because I was like, I think I have a piece from him, and I have a pencil line work of him, of a Catwoman, of course. But I was like, yeah, no, I think I got that right before, but. Right. On the off chance, I'd always stared because he did a lot of the Did he do a lot of the Xenoscope covers for Grimm fairy tales?
Yes, he did.
That's him.
Sometimes I know my stuff. Not right?
No, but Rio was great, and just that piece is great. And you want to know how much? We'll do this too, since everybody likes to play that game. $800 in 2001, and that might have also been a fanfare.
Huh.
Yeah. No, and that's a healthy price.
Shit ton of money
for 2001. Yeah, I don't think I spent $800 on a piece in 2001.
For Chaos, too at the time. I mean, I'm not even bagging on it, but like just like at the time, everyone's like, oh,
Right.
you know.
They're not doing that now. Anybody
No.
who's a fan, yeah, everybody wishes
I
they had
love
that
my
piece.
Diodatos. My Diodatos from that line
Oh, yeah.
too are great. I love, like, Diodato is another one of my absolute favorites. I was gonna put this Alpha Flight page I had in here, but anyway. But Diodato is again one of my top faves. So, but yeah, he did a lot of work on Purgatory. So did Jim Balin. I've got bad girl in my veins.
It's just right there.
Well, we are actually down to the last piece for both of you now.
Yay!
All right.
I'm gonna go anyway, so that's good.
Yeah, 2 hours goes by really fast. I told you, it's like
It really does. I really didn't. I was like, we're going to talk for 2 hours. I don't feel like I'm going to say that much, and then here we go.
Start babbling.
So this, so if you think back to the first one of my first pieces, it was a Jean Gonzalez Catwoman with a Bast statue.
Mm-hmm.
This, so like I said, he did like 3 prelims. Well, this was the close second one that I really enjoyed. Was like she went into the museum and she's sitting on top of it, like, oh, I'm going to take this with me. And I really, really liked that one as well. So later on, I went back and said, hey, Jean, remember this prelim that you did for this previous piece? Can we do this one as well? And he was like, sure. And so that's what brought on this one. And I just think it's another great addition to the Jean collection that I have. I think this was the second. I think I literally was just like, I like that other one. The other line works so much. I wanted both of them. And it just took me like a year to be able to get this one as well. So I had asked him to just recreate this one again. I don't remember what the third prelim was. I guess I didn't like it as much as this, but yeah. So I started with Jean. I think the very last commission I got is from a Jean, and that I didn't put on here either, but I'm looking at it. It's like right over there. And he's just great. I would recommend. He normally does convention sketches twice a year, and I think he's going to do it again in March. So I look forward to making him draw probably an anime character. We'll see. So I just think it's a great addition to like the Catwoman Egyptian stereotype that people think of. And so I also have that one framed. I have a lot of my Jean pieces framed because not only are they just gorgeous, like it's just very well received when I have guests over.
No, they present well.
Yeah, that one kind of has an Indiana Jones vibe for me.
I know, right? Like the whip sitting there, like bring it on. You know, like, oh, I love it. I love it so much.
Jean's not gonna know what to do when you don't ask for a Catwoman, though.
I mean, I think he was so I'm at the point with Jean. I think I get like 2 to 3 pieces from him a year. So I just send him a list now. I'm like, I would like this, or this. You pick what you want to do. Dealer's choice. Let's go. And he's just like, okay. And most of the time I'll put like, I don't have like a Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman from him. So she's like always in there, or like a Anne Hathaway Catwoman, just because I just want like a little bit of everything, or, steampunk Catwoman. And he always picks like a different character besides Catwoman. So I'm like, maybe he's just a little burnt out on all the Catwomans I do. So yeah. He's great.
All right. See, I couldn't say all that stuff about Rio if I wasn't going to give him love, because I absolutely love JSC. And this is such a good piece. Like I don't know. Anthony wanted to chop this one. I just want to say I took one for the team, everybody. Anthony wanted to cut this one up. This is from the video game. This is the title load screens for each of the individual missions and stuff that you win or whatever. And I own the video game too, because I'm also a idiot. Let me have it that way. So I probably will eventually plug it in and take a photo so everybody can see what it was, because they're very close to what it was in the game. And I really wish I could have had a better photo or a scan or something, because the pencils are very light and it's hard to pick it up. But it's classic everything. And let me just say, Danger Girl is the shit. That and Trinity Angels were my jam for so long. Trinity Angels is the tick for chicks, So anyway, I loved all this stuff out of that area, and I couldn't be happier with this piece, and I couldn't be happier to save it from the chop block, because it deserved to stay together, and it is him in his prime for what that was that brought him to where he is now. So
those are individual sketches on the cards, correct?
It's one big, it's a little bit oversized from an 11 by 17. It's a little bit bigger, but it's not quite, anyway, it's not the next size up, it's in between, but it's all one sheet, and they're all just divided on there.
Okay.
And then it's just individual panels that they scanned in to use for like the load screen on the old Nintendo 64 game.
Oh,
that's how old this is. Nintendo 64. Like, if you're a idiot, you know how old that is.
Yes. No. Okay.
So like it's when he was just coming up, pretty much. I mean, and this was his bread and butter. I mean, Danger Girl was everywhere. Everybody loves Danger Girl. I mean, how can you not? I mean, it's James Bond, Charlie's Angels, everything, all with cheeky fun. I mean, how can you not love that? And then with his art, I mean, come on, again, like a Turner book. I don't care what's the story. Who cares? Flip the pages. Like, you know. So I mean, like they tell enough of a story that you don't really need the words anyway. I mean, you know, or you can just enjoy the other artistic aspect of it, you know. But no, this is just, it's a great piece, and I'm happy to read it. So
no, I'm gonna have to have a talk with Anthony about that.
So he wanted to
he might have just been using it as a tactic to finally get me to say yes and buy it, though. He might have just been egging me on. So
right. Yeah, you could save this piece if you buy it right now. Otherwise, it's going to be split up, and it's going to. Yeah, no, I think we've all gotten those kind of sales pitches, not just from Anthony.
I think he's got my number on some stuff. He's like, maybe if I did poker a little bit more.
But that was really cool, you know, and I like that stuff too. I mean, I am a big gamer. You know, I used to, I was in the Red Annihilation tournament for id Software back in the day. I went to E3, so that's how I got my start. Nice. Believe it or not. And then I started doing website design for Duke Nukem stuff, and then the rest is history. I started there. So yeah, exactly. Hey, this is a good story for you. When they finished Duke Nukem, they did a call for level designing because they were trying to figure out a concept for the new game they were going to do, which of course took 10-15 years, right? I designed a whole level in Las Vegas with all of the animation on the slot machines and everything. I sent it in, and I never heard from them. And then a year later, you know, they were like, "Oh, we've already got some demo stuff we're going to show you. What's it all about?" It's Duke Nukem in Las Vegas. So I was that close to doing something in gaming. They took my idea and ran with it, but you know, they got cursed because they couldn't get it done. You know, it took them like 12 years before they ever saw it. So there you have that.
That's cool, though. That's awesome.
Yep. There you go. That's my story. Yeah, I'm glad it took them forever, and it didn't, and it wasn't a good game either. But anyway, so
I'm on the side again, so I can't see anything. But I don't know if you can hear me and see me. So
you're what?
No, we can see you.
I can't see anything. It's just flat. But I figure we're about wrapping up. I'm not trying to be rude.
Yes,
but
we are. No, but you're actually fine. We can see you waving your hands and everything. So yeah.
I hope it's good.
So yeah, we're past the 2-hour mark, but this was great.
I really do.
No problem. I appreciate it. I'm so glad we got to do this, and I'm sure we'll hang out in some future event with Anthony in one way, shape, or form. Lisa, it was great getting to meet you and talk to you as well.
Oh, most definitely. This is great. I didn't even know, and I told Kat this, and we were talking about it in the green room, was that I was always jealous of Kat's collection because she had that Egyptian Catwoman and the prehistoric Catwoman, the barbarian Catwoman. So,
yeah, that was another one of the topics that he was doing. Yeah,
and I just started screaming at her randomly, like, I have been a huge fan of yours. And she's like, "What, me?" And I'm like, "Yes, you. You have all these pieces I want." And I didn't realize it was you. So I really appreciate everything that you do, Bill, because I've made so many great friends through CAF and stuff. So
thank you.
I will. I didn't even really know this was going on. So I will be, tuning in and sharing your stuff. And thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're quite welcome. Thanks again, and thanks to everybody for tuning in. We'll see you again next week.